everyone, it's Morgan Yates. For this week's video, I just wanted to have kind of a conversation around health and fitness and just kind of share what my experience has been over the past year related to those topics. It's gonna be a chatty video, probably gonna be a little bit long. So get a coffee, get a snack. We're just gonna chat today. So some of you guys may know I've been working one-on-one with a fitness coach over the past year through the company CoPilot. And I recently realized it's been like 300 plus days, I think it's close to a year that I've been working with my trainer, Olivia. So I wanted to do a video just kind of recapping what that experience has looked like for the past year, talking about what has been challenging for me, share some of the lessons I've learned in hopes that they might be helpful for you guys to think about, and just overall talk about how my relationship with fitness and health and body image has kind of evolved throughout the past year, because I always like when other creators talk about this stuff. So if you're someone who has maybe been considering trying out CoPilot, hopefully this will shed some light on what my experience has been, or introduce some of you guys who may not have heard of it to it right now. So I'll explain a lot more about them as I share my experience throughout the video, but in short, CoPilot is a one-on-one coaching experience that's done through an app that's available on iOS and Android. Also, I am partnering with CoPilot on this video as well. So I think it makes the most sense to talk about like my fitness journey, I guess, chronologically. So we're gonna jump back to a year ago and what made me even want to start working with a personal trainer. September of last year, I was going through a bit of a life change. I was moving into this house. I was wrapping up a roommate situation that was just like overall really stressful and not good for my mental health, while also, you know, still trying to get in the swing of like balancing having a relationship that was serious. And it was just kind of like without noticing, I had found myself at a place in my life where I was no longer prioritizing working out like I used to. It was starting to show a little, you know, but more than that, I just did not feel good. Like I know from past times where I've been very consistent about working out, I know that that's when I feel my best. Something just was not clicking in my brain of like, I know this thing is gonna make me feel better, but I just didn't have any of the motivation or the will to do it. Or like when I would try to work out at that time, I would just feel really down on myself because I wasn't as strong as I used to be. Like I couldn't work out quite at the intensity I could before. So I got to the point of starting to consider turning outward for some help and support. I know a lot of friends that have personal trainers and have like raved about how great it's been for them. For me, honestly, never for 1 second did I consider getting a personal trainer in person, just it being very outside of my comfort zone for someone to be like watching me work out in the moment. But B, no part of me was ever gonna spend that kind of money. Around this exact time, CoPilot actually reached out to me and I looked into it and I thought, okay, this is virtual. That would actually be something that would be a bit more within my comfort zone. Plus, what's really great about CoPilot is in terms of the personal training world, I feel like this is the most affordable option you could go with. And CoPilot is cheaper than if I were to go to 3 boxing classes in an entire month. Like that's what you're paying. Plus, they also gave me a link for you guys that I'll have below where you can actually get 14 days free. My eye is suddenly twitching, so if you see that happening, I've waited like 5 minutes and I can't get it to go away, so we're just gonna continue filming. But so we'll call that like my background, my origin of like how fitness has evolved for me. We're starting there. Was not in a good place with it. Mentally, it was just like beating myself up. That's chapter 1, okay, the origin. Moving on to chapter 2, which I will call the first 60 days, because I actually have a video of this whole time frame, a whole other video dedicated to that, so you can see it in complete detail there. It is day 1. I'm super excited. So basically when I started using CoPilot, I went in on the app, answered some questions about myself and my goals, and I got matched with my trainer, Olivia, who to this day is still my trainer. It's been her the whole time. So the first step in working with her was to have a kickoff call to share my goals with her and let her know the equipment I have so that she could base my workouts around that and how many workouts I wanted to do a week. And I thought it was realistic for me to start with 3 30-minute workouts a week. And then the next day right on the app, she uploaded all of my workouts for that week. In terms of getting into using this, I thought it was very easy. When you go to do a workout, it's also linked with your Apple Watch. So you're getting all your stats, you know, your heart rate, calories burned, everything like that. But what the coolest part I think is, because again, remember, it's very important to me that no one was watching me work out, is that the watch monitors your form through the moves for everything you're doing and knows where your wrist should be. So if you are, you know, not lifting high enough in your hip thrusts, it will speak to you. If you are going through your bicep curls too quickly, like it'll tell you. Having that live feedback during a workout, I just think it's really cool. And when you're doing a workout on screen, it's very easy to follow. It demonstrates all the moves. And again, if you would like to see all of this in detail of my first 60 days, you can just go watch that video. But my takeaway here is that during this time frame, it brought me back to a place of consistency. It was not always easy. It was not like natural, especially in the beginning, for me to be like motivating myself to do all these workouts. But at the end of the day, a motivation is just a feeling and it should not affect whether or not you are working towards your goals. Fortunately, during that time frame, I had Olivia there, keeping me accountable, checking in with me every day. And if it had not been for that, like, I know I would have let my feelings and my lack of motivation get in the way of me building back up to a place of consistency. But during that time also, it was really cool to, again, just build back my strength, see my growth with increasing the weights I was using or the length of the workouts. It was very rewarding, and it was like, you know, it's a snowball effect of making me want to continue. During that time as well, I did naturally see some physical results, but what was interesting was that actually didn't mean as much to me anymore as I thought it would have, because I was already feeling strong and proud of myself. And again, having that accountability was just key. So with CoPilot, you can talk to your trainer every day, schedule calls with them anytime, just straight through the app. So let's now move on to what happened after that video that you guys saw. We're gonna move on to chapter 3, which I'm gonna call the holidays. So starting from around mid-November through January, for us YouTubers, the holidays are our like busy season. You know, it is ad spending time. For me, work got crazier in this period than it has ever been in my entire life. I had so many great opportunities I was taking on. I feel like every day I had a new deadline. Like, I would wake up, plan a video, film it, edit it, and then wake up and do the same thing the next day. And during that time, I did not have the time to work out quite as much as I had in the months prior. In hindsight, I could have absolutely prioritized that if I would have just taken on less obligations. Hindsight is 2020, you know? So anyways, it just wasn't happening. What fitness and movement looked like for me was getting outside and going on a walk around my neighborhood, because I needed to mentally de-stress, or doing half of a CoPilot workout. Like, there were times where I would start a workout and then I would fit in what I could and I would end it and submit it like halfway. And I remember something Olivia said during this time, because mentally on my end to myself, I was feeling like this didn't count for anything because it wasn't the full workout that I normally would do. And Olivia replied back to it and she said, like, exercise will always be here. Like, good job getting in what you did. Just overall being super encouraging. And what that did for me was kind of give me the approval to give myself permission to be okay with a short workout or a walk, instead of shaming myself because it wasn't like this long, full body workout. I had set these goals that worked for me the past couple of months at one time in my life, and then with the circumstances at this time, those were no longer working. So I learned at this time that it's okay to change my goals. And in order to make those realistic, my new goal is to like get outside and go on a walk or squeeze in a short workout where I could. And with changing that, I began to just be really proud of myself if I got in any kind of movement during the day, versus every single day feeling like I wasn't doing enough. And giving myself the flexibility to change my goals allowed me to stay consistent with those new goals. So on that note, you'll see throughout, but I would just forever speak so highly of Olivia. I know the rest of the CoPilot trainers are the same way. Like, this is a company committed to encouraging you, to supporting you, to never shaming you, and never making fitness about weight, and just overall helping you build healthy habits and give you the tools to have fitness be a part of your life, like in the long term. CoPilot is all about taking a very healthy and positive approach to fitness. And I feel like it's still just like lacking in the fitness world. There's no like, do this workout because you went out over the weekend and like you need to make up for it now. It's about enjoying movement and being proud of your effort. So moving on into 2022, like early 2022, we're gonna call this chapter 3. No, this is chapter 4. Here's the kicker, is that my life never slowed down. Starting in late February, if you follow my content, you know I've been going on trip after trip, especially from like April on, around festival season. I was gone every single weekend, a lot of weekdays, and I spent the whole summer in Europe, but that'll be its own chapter. So from February up until I left for the summer, life in LA, or lack thereof, was basically just as crazy as the holidays. I did have time here and there to squeeze in a more full workout. In March, I also got on another boxing kick, so I was doing a video trying that for 30 days, and I just like kind of laid out that plan with Olivia, who was super supportive of it, and she was still, you know, hype me up for going and doing a boxing workout. So if you're someone who has a changing schedule, or maybe you like going to some studio classes too and you don't want to sacrifice that, or you like going on runs or whatever, your trainer can program one workout or like 6 for you in a week. Like, it's really just up to you. Everyone is not getting the same thing. Like, your trainer is taking a very personalized approach to your life and needs and goals. So previously, my CoPilot workouts have been anywhere from like 35 to 50 minutes. And during this time, I actually had Olivia program a couple shorter, like 15 to 20 minute workouts that will get me moving and be a little bit more achievable. So to continue with how my relationship with fitness has evolved, this is where I'm going to talk more about body image and the growth I noticed in myself. My eyes still twitching. We're going to move into chapter 5, which is the summer. So the whole time basically that I've been out of the country. Shameless plug, if you want to watch those videos, I will have the vlogs linked. But around April, CoPilot released a new habits feature, which came at the perfect time for me. So I worked with Olivia to come up with 3 daily habits I wanted to start doing every day. So in April, I implemented that I wanted to be getting a certain amount of steps in every day, drinking a certain amount of water every day, and stretching every day, because that's just something that I feel like I always neglect. So I was implementing those habits at the perfect time, because realistically, if I'm like out traveling, you know, exploring some city all day, every day, changing cities every 1 or 2 or 3 days, like, where am I squeezing in a 50-minute workout? So my new goal was to accomplish my habits, and I actually got in the habit of doing them. Like, those have stuck. Also, since I was going to be staying in hotels, I had Olivia create a few hotel room friendly workouts that were just body weight, because obviously I'm not lugging around my weights with me. I was lugging around one really big weight, which was my suitcase. But what I think is really meaningful here is that it was over the summer that I realized that my relationship with my body image and with fitness had just like completely changed over the past year of using CoPilot without me really even noticing until I was like where I am now. A year ago, before I started using CoPilot, or even like years ago when I was at my like fittest point, or actually no, not even my fittest point, my thinnest point. And those things are not related. I'll go on a brief tangent here to say that in the past year as well, I came to realize when I was doing all these CoPilot workouts, like I was the strongest I've ever been. My endurance to this day is like the best it's ever been. You know, put me on a hike, put me up a million flights of stairs. Like, I'm not even gonna get winded. My endurance has never been this good. And realizing that true fitness wise, I was at the best point in my life while being far from the thinnest I'd ever been, you know? That was truly like, for me, like a groundbreaking realization to realize that those things were disconnected. And that alone like changed my relationship with body image. And I just became really detached from it because like my current version is more capable than the last one. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying is that in the past when I would travel, I would feel like every vacation put me behind. I'm, you know, eating and drinking a little more and heaven forbid, like enjoying being in this place that I may never go back to. That was how I would feel in the past. And this summer, traveling nonstop for a million years, I didn't feel that way at all. I went into the summer, again, shifting my goals to make them realistic for my circumstances. My goals were to keep up with my habits and to squeeze in a hotel room workout when I had the energy to after like being out exploring in a million-degree heat every day. And I accepted that if I did not feel up for that, it was completely okay because I'm out here walking 15,000 steps a day, like more than I ever do in LA. And at the end of the day, my body would be exhausted. So like a goal again with the habits was like to stretch it out every night because my muscles needed that. So my fitness mentality for the summer was just to feel great about how much I was moving every single day. Again, like way more than here. And I accepted in advance to going on this trip that like, I'm probably gonna gain a few pounds from enjoying like the trip of a lifetime with my girlfriend. Like we're never gonna travel that long ever again. So I just approached this whole summer from a position of gratitude and acceptance, and I felt no guilt. And again, that's really all just because of CoPilot and Olivia and how my mindset has changed throughout time to being at such a place of just being healthy and positive. Like I learned to be kinder to myself and to just do what I can at any phase in my life. So let's bring this to the present. I think we're at chapter 6. When I'm filming this, I've been back in LA for like a week and a half. And what I've been doing so far is I've been excited to keep up with my steps every day on the treadmill here. That was like a habit I built over the summer out of necessity. But the biggest thing and why like presently I feel so good, I had the whole summer to think about this. Even before I left for the summer, I knew that these were changes I was gonna be making right now when I got back, is that finally I got to a place where I could look back at the past basically year, holidays on, and realize how busy I kept myself all the time to where my life was in like no balance. Like I'm only gonna talk about fitness here. There's a lot of areas. I was leaving myself like the crumbs left over to go towards things that are important to me, like working out, like doing things that creatively fulfill me that aren't work. So I decided months ago that when I got back to LA that I was done being overwhelmed. I can no longer say yes to every opportunity, even if I'm excited about it and it feels so natural to say yes. I got to start saying no, because saying yes to so many things just was not serving me. Like where I am now and what I am committed to, like I've had the whole summer to think about this and I've been implementing it already. Fitness is a priority for me that I'm not willing to sacrifice anymore. Even though, like I said, I've been in a great mentality about how whatever my life has been like and like been doing the best I can for the past year, and however that has changed throughout time. But now that I'm back, I know that for myself, I truly feel the best when I'm able to get in a 4-ish rigorous good workouts in a week. So I've adjusted my goals again, and that's my new goal. And I'm excited to prioritize that, and I've already been doing it. Both the workouts and saying no to opportunities that in the past I would say yes to. I'm not willing to just keep going as things were before. So that brings me to now, that's where I'm at. To round up, I guess, like over the past year, the biggest things I have learned through CoPilot are any movement is better than no movement. Be kind to yourself. I can focus on and celebrate being active without having to focus on physical results. Small healthy habits are more beneficial in the long run versus being extreme, which is unsustainable. Motivation is a feeling. Don't let motivation affect if I'm working towards my goals or not. This is a big one. It's okay for goals to change in order to be realistic. Just try to be consistent with whatever those goals are. And lastly, my most recent one, it's worth it to create time to prioritize what makes you feel your best. I know I've talked for a year and a half. This has just been like a lot of things that have been on my mind. Right now, this is like like a very big thing in my life. Like it's driving my decisions. And I just feel so proud of myself for like how throughout the past year, I've seen so much personal growth in like the areas of fitness and body image, which I know are super tricky for like basically everyone. And from working with Olivia, I've built healthy habits that have continued to last in the long term, which is CoPilot's whole goal. I genuinely cannot recommend enough having that one-on-one coaching experience to guide you and support you. The workouts on the app are fun, like I enjoy them. They can be created to your taste, to what types of workouts you like. Recently I've been doing some Pilates ones, and having that accountability and someone to encourage you is just a game changer. So again, I will have my link below if you guys would like to try CoPilot out and get your 14 days free. It's been so wonderful to partner with a company whose values and mission and just the way they go about fitness is so positive and healthy. Yeah, it's just been great to partner with CoPilot. That is it. Hopefully this gave you guys a few things to think about, and I'll be continuing to share on the vlogs as this continues. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video.